Thank you very much, and let me echo Carol Allen's welcome to one of the great gatherings of the Poetry Nation. Listeners, readers, writers, everybody. This is my third year of doing this. I've just noticed that I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore last year, but different trousers, and I think that's what contemporary poetry is about. It's about continuity, and it's about change. And that's what our poets are about tonight. All of our poets have taken the tradition and worked on it in their own way. Each poet will have 5 poets in the first half, 5 poets in the second half. Each poet will read for 8 minutes, which will seem in a good way like a lot longer, which is a good thing. Because this is a great gathering, we're allowed to whoop and cheer at the end of the readings. If we brought party poppers, we must let them off at the end of each reading. Our first reader is Gillian Clarke for her wonderful book, Ice. Gillian Clarke has been a presence in the Welsh and the wider British poetry scene for many years. And to use a term from Welsh rugby, Gillian's done the hard yards over the years, because Gillian has spent many years in workshops, in schools, and because she spent so long doing that, so long answering the same questions time and time again. Why do you write? What do you write? How do you write? What do you write about? She knows. She knows the answers to these things. And last year she won the Queen's Gold Medal for Poetry, which is a fantastic thing, but it seems to me that Gillian Clarke is on her own a gold medal for poetry. She really is a fantastic, living, breathing gold medal for poetry. Gillian Clarke.
How lovely of you all to come. I'm going to dedicate my reading of 4 poems to Dennis O'Driscoll, my fellow judge, one of my 2 fellow judges on the T.S. Eliot Award last year, who died far too young, in his early 50s, on Christmas Eve. So this is for Dennis, lovely, honourable, beautiful man. When I was a child, there was a polar bear skin rug on our living room floor, which my father bought from a junk shop. Polar. Snowlight and sunlight, the lake glacial, too bright to open my eyes in the dazzle and doze of a distant January afternoon. It's long ago, and the house naps in the plush silence of a house asleep like absence. I'm dreaming on the white bear's shoulder, paddling the slow hours, my fingers in his fur. His eyes are glass, each hair a needle of light. He's pegged by his claws to the floor like a shirt on the line. He is a soul. He is what death is. He is transparency, a loosening flow on the sea. But I want him alive. I want him fierce, with belly and breath and growl and beating heart. I want him dangerous. I want to follow him over the snows between the immaculate earth and now, between the silence and the shot that rang over the ice at the top of the globe, when the map of the earth was something we knew by heart, and they had not shot the bear, had not loosed the ice, had not. A sequence follows that poem. It led to, together with the severe winters, the beautiful winter of 2009, 10, 11, it reminded me of a snowy winter I remembered from my childhood, the great snow of 1947. Freeze, 1947. Long ago, in the first white world, school closed. The park disappeared, the lake froze, the town lost its way. Sea struck dumb on the beach. Birds held their tongues. Land lay spellbound. World was an ice garden beyond fern-frozen glass. Trees held out white arms, waltzed with the wind, and froze to stone. On doorsteps, bottled milk stood stunned. The polar bear rug on the living room floor rose from the dead, shook snow from its fur, and stood magnificent on all fours, transfigured, breathing flowers. And a girl on the road from school was stolen. Her breath a frozen rose, her marble sleep death. They hid the paper. Babe in the wood, it said. I thought of her school desk, its name carved lid, slammed on slurred air. Her face blurred over books her eyes of ice would never read. Her china inkwell emptied of its words, the groove for her pen like a shallow grave. I never thought I'd get home for Christmas, the snow being so deep in 2010, before Christmas. Home for Christmas. A pause in the blizzard, and you fetch me home. By motorway and marble corridor, the last hill from Blangloan slippery, slow. The car crawls slipshod to the door. Tonight, we lie together listening as miles of silence deepen to the coast. Snow blinds the roof lights. Roads forget themselves to north and east. I sleep, wake, sleep again, dreaming in stories. Turning, landlocked in a myth. Our white room drifted deep in moonwork of the silversmith. All night a breath from the east drives drifts of the fields through the avenue of beach, to fill the lane with waves of a frozen sea so wild and still, by morning nothing can pass. We rise, dress, light fires, carry hay to 12 ewes waiting hungry at the gate. Birds gather in the garden for their feed of crumbs, crusts, peelings, nuts and seed. Our wild, tame neighbours, fellow inhabitants, I, my scattering hands, in hunger's silence. I set soup simmering, dough rising in a bowl as in the old days, in our early glow, like being new here, in this house, this place, like being young and bold, bravely in love, like staying alive and brazening out the ice and snow, like being up for it, the shove, to sharpen up, to take the great adventure of living the difficult day, the glamour. We have a flat in Cardiff. That's where I was marooned before David came and fetched me home. We have swans nesting below the window on the River Ely. The River Ely froze in that winter. And when the winter came to an end and there was a thaw, instead of 2 swans on the lake, there was 1. Swans pair for life. Swans. She was brave in the bitter river, the Mary Rose, doomed, ice chalice, lily in bloom. Thaw, her feathers and bones dissolve in the flow and she's gone, flower that floated so light over death's undertow. In lengthening light he patrols alone, ferocious on his watery shore, where the nest from last year and the year before has drowned to a dredge of sticks and sludge. In full sail, his body ablaze, bridge over unfenced water, he waits for her. The voice on the phone said, "He doesn't know she's dead. There's nothing to be done." Now love rides the river like a king's ship, all wake and quiver, and I can't tell him it's over.